just anything that I want to do. Now today I'm thinking of 500 things that I want to do, and I said I was going to relax a little bit today. I, I don't know. I don't know. Um, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to stand in what I said. So, anyways, there's a lot of stuff that I want to do today. But anyways, I came on because I watched one of Peach McIntyre's shorts, and her short was called um, "Why Do Black People Have to?" And one of the first thing came to my mind is, and she was. I also want you to go and look at the short so you can see the short for yourself and listen to the whole thing in its entirety. Don't take people's word for what you think it may say. Go look for yourself. Okay, so from my own experience, I think that kids, and we're not out in the garden just yet, but we're gonna take a trip out there later because my mind's spinning, trying to think of everything to do. But in my own experience, I think because when I had my sons, they were and she was speaking on a question about an NBA player, but um having sons myself and being a single parent at that time, I think kids can see you struggling, hustling, whatever name you want to give to it. They see how hard you work or whatever, and they always have this dream of when when I get older, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z for my mom, um, or dad. You know, I'm speaking from a mother's position, but every son has this thing of, when I make it here or when I make it there, I'm going to do this for my my mom. Even I think in your son's thought process, because I see, you know, he paid attention to you. There was some shoes that you wanted at one point, and he got those shoes for you. So whether it's a house or whatever it may be, they're always in search of that thing, that they can get for their mom, you know. Um is that the situation with all of them? Nope, not at all. There's different situations for different things. But I know one of them can be, they see you doing a lot of struggling, they see you don't have enough time to do all the things that you want to do. And so being a black parent, they just feel like they want to do something for you. Then you got the one, though, the set of parents that they ain't never been there in the kid's life ever, haven't done anything, but still, that it doesn't mean because the parent has been missing in action, it still doesn't mean that that child is not longing to have a relationship with that parent. And now they got that parent probably positioned in their life, and they don't want them to move around. They want them to be stable or whatever. So in a lot of positions, I don't think that they have to retire them. I think they choose to have to, because in my opinion, most elderly people and stuff that's still moving around doing stuff, and not necessarily we talking about all elderly people, but for the most part, um even when people say they getting tired of going to work, they know going to work is the one thing that keep them going. So a lot of the times when they kids make it big or something like that, the parents want to keep moving around doing the thing that they've been doing, because most of them been working the same job that they've been working forever and a day, and they can't imagine doing anything else different, and it's the thing that keeps them moving. So then, once that, if that's done and over with, then now we got to find something else that we got to do to occupy our time, or whatever. But I don't think that is that they have to. Then you got that other set of things is, I'm tired of seeing them struggle, and they just want to do it for them. So that there's not as big as a struggle as it was before. Um, I think there's all different circumstances. Some of them compassion that they do it for them, but do I think all of them they have to do it? Because they absolutely can turn them down and say, absolutely not. I'm not helping you. I'm not helping you with anything. And I think at that time too, they have so much of an increase in what they've had before. It's about, let me pay it forward, let me do something for somebody. But do they absolutely have to? They don't. They don't have to. And I don't think that any parent should be sitting around waiting for um what my kid is gonna do for me when I don't have anything, or I haven't worked towards doing anything for myself. Um, I just don't think that that's what it's that's what it's about. Is that like a parent should be sitting around and expecting um and I be thinking about it, slow walking it. Let's walk back just a little bit. Mm, I just don't know, because it, for me too, expecting my kids to do anything, I just don't have any expectations of them doing anything. But is it a hope that in the end that they will take care of me the way that I've taken care of them? Hi, Crystal Williams. Um, but Peach asked the question, and so I said, let me join in this conversation, because I've raised 14 kids, and I don't I think at this point the only expectation I have of them is to make sure they happy with the decisions that they make, as long as it's not affecting me directly, and to take care of themselves. Um but having an expectation of them doing anything, my hopes is, are you going to do the right thing by me if for some reason I can't take care of myself? Yeah. But even in that right there, if I've taken care of myself and did the things that I need to, um, then I wouldn't, there is no expectation really for the kid to fill in. I'm going down my thought process, because it is a lot to think about. Um, even, ooh, you can talk about this from like two totally different sides, but also I think too, most kids want to be close to their mom or whatever, and so anything that they see, especially boys, seeing them struggle with doing anything. Um, and you all, I'm pausing so much because I know too many sides of this right here, especially like a child. You would think that a child that was not raised by their parents, like they still don't have expectations, they still don't look for things from their natural born parent, and it's not true. The only thing your job is at the time of raising them or whatever is teaching them what the truth is, and so that when they do get out into this world, they can start to pay attention to the behavior that people are putting down, and you start to move accordingly to the behaviors that you see in front of you. I think too in my life is that I always have thought that um if I ever made it big, I would, not because my family is expecting me to do anything or want me to do anything. I would want them to come along for the ride just to have the experience of what it's like to be over here to help, strive a little bit more. So my thought process was all over the place with this. And I thought about this like ever since yesterday evening, but my schedule was so busy. So I just had to say, I had to get up and say something about it this morning. I'm not ignoring you, Crystal Williams. It's just once I get into the chat, um, honey, the conversation can go a whole lot of different ways. I try not to have expectations about anyone or anything for that matter, because we don't know what people will do or not. And you absolutely right with that right there. You having expectations of people. I've been learning that too for a moment. It's like you have expectations. Say like you taking care of somebody and you doing things for them. If you're doing good things by them and taking care of them when they're at a moment when they can't take care of themselves, my expectation is I in turn think that whatever you can however thoughtful that you can be of me would be great. But then when you out of that, you seeing no appreciation for anything you do, is then once again your expectations are failed. So in that way too, I'm learning to not have any expectations of anyone. If you're gonna do something, you just doing it, you know out of whatever. Showing a strong family unit to your children and giving them an example of what being a family means. Absolutely, we all tuning in together, working together. It's a work of anything. And then I'm not expecting my kids to put me anywhere. I actually love where I am right now. And what I want to do is I try to bring my kids in to create more generational wealth. Come save your money here. Come hey Divine Destiny, how you doing today? Um I try to bring my kids and my family together, not for you to freeload off of me, not for you to do X, Y, and Z and LMNOP, but for you to come and create generational wealth, which means you get there, you start saving, you do your part, you chip in, we work together. But it's hard to get those things, but I'm not expecting anything of anybody, because what my expectation is what we gonna have to leave our kids when we leave here. Anything besides leaving them here with a bill or anything um is what my expectations is. I don't have no expectations of my kids gonna do anything for me. But I will say this, that if I have expectations of them representing us, well, but also live your life and learn from your mistakes. Um, and being truthful is the expectations that I have for my kids. My expectations are not, hey, Tim B, my expectations is not, for it to be the other way around. It's like, I don't want to leave no headaches. I don't want my kids taking care of me. I love where I am right now. I love the property. If anything else that I want, and they came upon me, get me a RV so I can roll around and live anywhere that I want to live, at any, given time or whatever. But then they have, jumping on to another one, you have the ones that are constantly asking for constantly asking them for something when they've made it somewhere, in life. And now, you ain't have no time for them before, but now you got all the time to be on the phone with them, asking them for this, that, and the other. Now that you know that they got money or whatever. So then sometimes they feel like they forced to have to go ahead and do it or whatever. There are so many different sides to this story, but you all go and check out the short that she did and just listen to the question and think along the lines, why do Black people think that they have to retire their parents? In my situation and all the ups and downs that I went through with my mom, I know without a shadow of a doubt that if I ran into millions and my mom was here, I would definitely retire my mom. I would. Yeah. And me thinking about it, I would do it all with all the ups and downs, because I don't think that it's about it ain't so much about the other person. It's about how when you no longer have them anymore, do you know that you've done what will give you peace, not what give everybody else around you peace? Do you know that you've done everything that you can so that when you walking around here on this earth and they no longer here, it's like you want to do the best that you have done for them, so your mind is at peace? Again, I say there is so many levels to what it is. And believe me, I'm speaking from a place I done been through hell and high water. Y'all done seen me go through it on here. I talk about it all the time. Like, and Lord knows I'm trying not to be emotional about this conversation, but I'm talking about, being a child that done went through the hell and still thinking in the back of my mind, what can I do? Would I do X, Y, and Z for my parent? Yes, and and no all at the same time, because I'm at an up and down. I'm at an up and down battle when it comes to certain things, but I'm constantly searching my mind as to what's going to give me peace. Will I be at peace with the decisions that I made if this person was to, check out today? So I think a lot of kids be thinking from that position, and then understanding your parents' background and why they did the things that they did. Because another thing you have to know is, and you see, this conversation can lead you down so many paths. And I've already stated, I don't think kids that make it big have to retire their parents. I think everything is a process in life. Yeah, that's true, divine destiny. You only get one mother, so there's nothing you do, and that's double edged too, because let me not get into that conversation, because I'm telling you, every time I get into the chat, I can go on and on with it. I always tell mine, it's not required that you do anything for me once you're on your feet, but because we put in the work, like us, they want to make sure we are good regardless. Absolutely, that's what I'm talking about. And so I think when you've put in the work, you when you've put in the work, then it's just something in the back of your kid's mind that thinks that they're always thinking of what I can do for you. And like, it doesn't matter how big you Peach get, if she ever see this, your son will always think in the back of his mind, what can I do for my mom? They always thinking of something they can do, especially when they knew that you took care of them. Children need strong role models. They absolutely do need strong role models, and they also not only strong male role models, but they need moms that are good role models, because God knows we got some of them out here that ain't really. And I'm not saying everything that I did in front of my kids that I would say was the best decisions, because I be lying, and I think every parent can say that, because some things we do in front of our kids we don't necessarily want to do them, but it happened. So it's life sometimes. Hey, Miss Coffee. But I think they need it from both sides, not just a strong role model. I wouldn't say they need a strong woman. They need a woman with a strong mind to do the right thing. But you know, and they need actual moms. But when you've been put in a position, you gotta serve, you gotta, or you put, and let me not make people out of victims or whatever. But when you sometimes some of us make decisions where we keep bringing children into the world to do it all by ourselves, and then you forced into a single parent situation. Some of us in that situation because, hey Samantha, some of us in that situation because you know we we put ourselves there, and some of us there because um other circumstances. So I don't just want to make it flat across the board like that. Good morning, beautiful people. May the Lord grace you today. Thank you, Miss Coffee, always stepping in and putting one over the top of us. Thank you very much. And also, when we are a good example and they seen how we look after our parents, if they learn anything, they would want to do the same from the heart. Absolutely. Going by example, living for Jesus. All right, come through with the name. Hello. um but there's so many things I just I think it's wrong to be sitting down now when you got, because I used to know this parent back in school, and I mean mama was there for I don't really remember the daddy, but I think the daddy was there. But I think he was the breadwinner of the family or whatever. But I'm telling you, this boy, I would see him. He was playing football, and I don't want to say people names or whatever, but he went to school with us. His mama was to everything. She was the loudest screaming parents you ever wanted to see in your life. She was down for she was down for everything. Absolutely, Samantha. Um, she was her son's number one cheerleader. And I always knew, even though I never talked to him about it, I always knew that if he made it big, hey, Ron with Hudson, thank you for being here. How you doing today? I absolutely knew that if he ever grew up and made it anywhere and did anything, I absolutely knew that he would take care of his mom. Without a shadow of a doubt, like she was his number one cheerleader. I was just to know that that's still stuck in my head after all these years. We talking about junior high school, and I can still think of them like that right there. Today at 3:30, and Tashana will be live. You don't want to miss it. Yes, I will be doing an interview with TMB today. At You said 3:30. Okay, then I'll be there at 3:30. But yes, there are so many different ways that this conversation can go, but I think it's a good conversation to have. And I do think that there are situations where parents be sitting around and they know that their kids gonna be something, but they ain't participated in nothing as to why they there, how they made it to that place, and know nothing because they ignored them. They didn't do nothing for them, know anything, and then they sitting there and you can actually hear them tell people, yeah, but I ain't worried about nothing. I can do what I want to do because my kids got me. My kids got me. And you got those parents with that expectation that ain't never did a thing for their kids or whatever. And so, some of them feel entitled. In the same way, you have some entitled kids. We got the entitled parents that think they entitled to everything. They entitled to everything that their kids have or will have. And I think that's I think that's a sad expectation to to have, especially when you didn't. You know what? There's a thing that I say that I call it. They talk about what you plant, and I'm going to growing because we over here we grow all the time. At Life with Tashana, we grow all the time in the garden, everything. And I always say, let what you growing in your garden represent how you growing in your life. Is you moving? Is you doing something different? So, when and listen, I don't lost my train of thought trying to listen to too many things at one time, but huh, point blank period, we always growing stuff in the garden. So I always compare what I'm doing in life with what I'm growing out in the garden. So look at that. I'm like, hey Silky Black, how you doing today? I'm glad you love Jesus, Samantha. I'm glad you do. um Let me read this because I probably got thrown off by reading something in the chat. Those parents be the ones that was no good. They get the best. They get the best kids somehow that respect their parents, sometimes more than a good parent. Yep, that is absolutely true. And I forgot what I was going to say, and maybe it'll come back to me in a little bit about what I was saying. But I was going to get ready to compare something to the garden, um, and then thank you very much. um, but okay then. See, it came back to me. I think about how I'm not going to go out into my garden and I'm going to plant cabbages and collard greens and thinking I'm going to reap strawberries. So even in your parenting, you reap what you sowed. And I think that means for all of them, you cannot go out and plant cabbages and collard greens and expect that you're going to get strawberries. It just does not work like that. So you have to pay close attention. And I'm saying that and accepting that for my own self. I can go back and look at things that I've planted or things that I've did, and have I gone back and had conversations with my kids and said, Yeah, I could have did that a different way. That was not the best decision. I ain't one of them that I jump up and start saying, no, I didn't do that. They ain't how it went. No, we can have a real conversation about it. And if I was wrong in it, whatever they bringing up from the past or whatever, I'm gonna stand in it. I'm going to stand in it. But us as parents need to realize, if you plant strawberries, then be expecting to harvest strawberries. But if you plant collard greens and broccoli and cabbage and all of that good stuff, because all of that stuff is good. But I'm just saying, you can't expect to get what you haven't sown. What you sprinkle down in your soil, what you plant in your soil. You can even get a surprise every now and then, that when you go out to your garden, you ain't even replanted that stuff, but the next season come around and some of your seeds and stuff from the season before is still down in the ground, and you still reaping from the harvest that you planted 2 or 3 years ago. But you planted it. But what you going out there looking for is what you actually planted. You want to eat some chitlins? That's funny. All righty then. That's get to work. That's a lot of work to do. But I think that um there are a lot of kids who make it in life, and they don't necessarily they don't necessarily the parent does not have an expectation, and I'm speaking from my experience. um Parents don't have to have an expectation. If you've done the things that you're supposed to do, if you were there, you kept them fed, you kept them clothed, you kept all their needs met and all of that good stuff, they were able to come and talk to you. um you know, all of those good things. You had their best interest at heart. um you don't have to have, I believe you don't have to have any expectations. um it just, you will reap what you have sown. And I say and I believe that for everybody, what you plant out there is what you will get back. I just I believe that, even though that's not how even for me, sometimes life doesn't seem like, hey Corinne, how you doing this morning? Even if sometimes you feel like you ain't getting the things back that you deserve in life, if you don't know that, because I'm just trying to say, let me not even try to dance around it. I'm just saying, sometimes when you feel like you've done everything in the right way, and it seems like only bad things keep coming towards you, it, we all ain't, everything ain't gonna always look perfect on every days, but I'm talking about the times when, and it doesn't even have to come from your kids. Let's just put it this way: even if it's not your kids that take care of you, you knowing that you've done the right things that you're supposed to do, it don't have to be your kids. God will provide, and everything that you need will be taken care of, whether it's your kids, whether it's a fake sister, a fake auntie, whatever it may be. You will reap the benefits of the things you sown. That's all I can say. And I think a lot of people don't have expectation, and I think it's 50-50. Yeah, a lot of there is, some people put expectations and some people don't. Some people that'll use the heck out of everybody that they can with doing the least amount of work. I've been reading stories like that my whole life. Even what it said that when the chicken went, she went and she asked everybody, it's all of them living in the house together. Who gonna go and who gonna help me plant this? Who gonna help me plant this corn? Who gonna help me do this? And every time she asked everybody in the house, who gonna help me do this right here, and who gonna help me do that, and ain't nobody want to help do nothing. But then when she done went and planted the corn, when she planted, well, I think it was wheat, she went and planted the wheat, she went and watered the wheat, she went and scuffled up the ground, kept the wheat fed, all of that kind of stuff. Ain't nobody want to help do that. Then when she go and harvest everything, and then she grind it all up, and now she done turned it into bread. Now everybody want to come there and reap the benefits of everything, but they didn't want to help do no work. But hey, Mr. Memes. Yeah, I think I said that right. I mess up the name. Good to see how it works, and he is a great rewarder. Absolutely. Sure is. So for me, I don't have no expectations. The only expectations I have is for myself. I got, other than, you as a parent, expectations, but do and should kids think because they make it big that they have to? But let me tell you something too. What us people will do, we'll have that conversation and we'll say that we don't have to do that. But then you'll be hear somebody on the outside saying, "Yeah, child, such and such made it big, and he ain't even do nothing for his mama them or whatever." And see, that's that sideways expectation, because here your kid done made it, and you think that you know, I don't think you need no expectations, because you reap what you sowed. I don't know, it keep going full circle right back to that right there. But I'm not where I came from. I didn't turn out from what my environment was, but God. I listen, growing with us, and I think if we can all do that, like you didn't turn out the way that what was, because what it is what the devil meant for bad, God turned it around for the good. So I've been in a whole lot of situations like that. I've been in situations where I thank God I didn't turn out like the situations that I was living in, and sometimes some of us do just the opposite of that, and then you return back to what it is that to be the right thing. So it just is what it is. So everything that I can say about this is that you reap what you've sown. Yeah, I just don't think. I think as a parent, you make a decision to bring in a child, so it's you that have. And I can go back to this in so much smaller things, but they're not really small things. It doesn't have anything to do with the money. But there's like examples that I've seen is that where you've been so absent in your child's life, and then you have the expectation, like you don't talk to them. You were missing for years upon years upon years. And I'm only talking about my experience. I can't talk about nobody else's. The parent was missing for years and years, and then all of a sudden you show back up in your child's life, and you have the expectation of, now you keep in touch with me every day, you keep up with me. I think that's such a crazy expectation, because you're requiring a child that you were supposed to teach how to treat you, and you never showed up, but now you're requiring that this child now give you what you never shown the child how to do. Those expectations are super duper crazy. Um, you show up with those expectations. Keep in touch with me. Keep calling my phone. Keep this, keep that, but you never made an effort in, let's just throw 10 years. They ain't heard from you 10 years. And if they do hear from you, they had to reach out to you then. And the only thing that you're doing is you're giving more. And somewhere along the line, these kids also feel like in times that they're they're responsible if something was wrong with them, that those parents didn't show up, and then the same thing. So as one that's raising other people's kids, let me talk about another expectation. You still can't expect that you can't have an expectation that you're gonna X out who those kids real parents are. You can't, you won't. It ain't gonna happen. No expectations. So I'm just saying, we talking about expectations. Why do black people have to? You really don't have to. You really don't. But it's a conversation that needs to be had in so many different ways, that some people think they entitled to stuff just because I have a title. Just because I have a title, you think you're entitled. And life does life does not work like that. It just doesn't. And I can't even explain to you all in one live. It's like how many ways that I know. None of us can't replace anything. No more can I go out into, and I always tell y'all, I go back to the garden every time and compare stuff in the garden. You ain't gonna make no cabbage grow no strawberry. You ain't gonna make no strawberry grow no cabbage. No matter when that strawberry plant started coming out the ground, how pretty it look folded up down there, almost looking like it want to be a cabbage. You is not finna get no cabbage from that. You didn't put in the time, and now you getting to this point of where you're the one down and out, and now you're looking for something from that child that you've never poured anything into them. But still, even if you pour it all into them, doing exactly what you're supposed to do, better keep your expectations to yourself, because your expectations will can fall and hit the dirt. But we, our children, don't have to do anything but succeed, is what I would want mine to do, is to succeed. Because I'm going to reap what I sowed. And that's just what it is. So I'm telling you, I could go on and on all day. I could pull up 1,001 scenarios about this conversation right here. But yeah. Let me go back up and read what I'm not where I came from. I didn't turn out from what my environment was. But God, I know that growing with Hudson, that's a whole conversation right there in its own self. Yes. And those of you who know, um, the environment that I grew up in and around, I could have turned out to be the worst of the worst. What the devil meant for bad, God turned it around for the good. My sister brags in a negative way that their children helped me out. They must have forgotten I was to take care of these same children when my sister was out running. Another example. Yeah, kids know who held them down. They know who was there regardless of whatever. And that, what and I think of too, when they say stuff like that, there's always somebody besides you that have to be the one to bring correction to that right there. Because there's that one particular person or several different people that's sitting in the room, and they saw everything that happened, everything that went on, everything that was said, and they absolutely know um the truth about what really happened. So when they know the truth about what really happened, somebody gonna eventually stand up and say, you want all of those things that you just said. Somebody know the truth, gonna stand up on the truth and know. Um, yeah, no, I seen her do all of this and now you mad, you know. Another conversation. My mom definitely get it from my other siblings. Yeah, and you know what? And then I think too, growing with her, so when you be in those situations like that, you still the one who they treated the worst is the one on the outside looking, and is like and I'm not saying that this is what you saying growing with us, and I'm saying the one that you were down at the bottom of the totem pole, you should have turned out to be the one the worst, and you're still there having a compassionate heart towards the way the siblings and everything giving other work, but it ain't none of you. So it all hate trying to be. I don't even know if I spoke to you when you came in, but good to see you. Yep, that's how some of the selfish ones do. I know that's right. Um, Yes, it is a good morning to. That's what Shaquille O'Neal's biological did. Got ghosts, then showed up on the Ricky Lake show talking about my son, but Shaq shut him down real quick. Uh, Listen, I even got a story. I got a story like that because even my son, you know, I try not to I'm not one of the ones that be like no, you can't see your kid this and you can't see your kid that. Never being that kind of one. And if anybody can say it, then I'm willing to debate them. Never been one of those ones that's deny a father from seeing their kid and everything. But all of a sudden one day, and I don't even think it was on my son's behalf, but um the dad seen my phone number because my kids still friends with people who they was friends with back in the days. And I'm gonna cut the story short, but anyways, dad got the phone number, called my phone, and he was like he want to talk to his daddy, but I don't think he was trying to talk to his daddy. He was trying to see, did he have a chance with me? I was like, no, that log is sitting up underwater. You can't even spark no fire on that. That thing waterlogged. You can't even dry it out no more. It's done. That's a wrap. Okay, let put your son on the phone. Let me see. My son ain't even know who he was. It was calling everybody name, but he was calling all of my husband people name. And as soon as he let me in on who I'm talking to, and I'm sorry I'm behind in the chat maybe right now, but I'm reading back into the chats because I like to talk to my people. He called everybody name except for his dad's name, and then when his dad said what is that? Again, you reap whatever it is that you planted into the ground. Be willing to know that that's what you going when it come harvest time. That you gonna get it back. So he been MIA. He didn't help. He ain't help do anything. No nothing for him all his life. Now he coming around and he expecting to get a warm welcome. And as soon as my son know that it's him on the phone, my son, all of a sudden basketball became more important than anybody else because my son said, hey, all right then, I was playing basketball, I'll holler at you later, and hung up the phone just like that. And my heart, he felt so weird for him. But you reap what you sowed. You didn't put in no time. And now you're just like a regular person that he doesn't know, that maybe he walked by and waved his hand at, or whatever. So expectations, expectations. All of the time it has to do with all of times it has to do with family guilt. Yeah, sometimes sometimes it has to do with family guilt. Yes, that family guilt can weigh on you and weigh on you and weigh on you. And two, some of us be looking at things we don't pay attention to. Sometimes you have to start to pay attention to, not sometimes, all the times we don't need to pay attention to what people be saying, but pay attention to their behaviors too, and move according to those behaviors that people be showing us. Stop denying what you seeing with your own eyes. um you know and pay attention to behaviors. If God is pleased, I'm good. I know that's right. That's all I need. Everything else is a bonus. Yep, absolutely right. Hey, you heard from, who is Larry New? All right. Who is Larry New? Okay, then. Growing with us, and anybody in here acting like they don't know where he at right now, then I don't mind if they be exit the building. LOL, your son said it's a wrap on that. Yeah, he ended it very, very quickly. And I'm telling you, I felt sorry for him, but I guess I feel sorry for him as based off of a parent. Um and not that before. Like I've had hey Shalissa. Um I've had yeah, I've had my one of my kids hung up the phone on me before in my ear. I hung up in my ear before, but I and one of my kids hung up in my ear before. Well, not one of them, but probably more than one done hang up on me before. But if they're coming to me and they're asking me a question about something, it may be up for debate, whatever that is. But my job is to give them truth. um what did you ask a question about? Because you said, well, who is Larry? Because we ain't talking about nobody named Larry in here, so you ain't making no sense. You just asked the question. You can get rid of Julian knock his socks, jocks, whatever he is, knocks his socks on off. Goodbye, Julian. As a matter of fact, I'll I'll say goodbye. Anyways, um, made me forget what I was saying. And over here, I usually I get along with pretty much everybody, but um I hope I ain't misunderstand him. But yeah, when he got to do all of that right there, the only thing I ask over here is, if you're gonna talk in the chat, be respectful with whatever you say. You allowed to ask questions. You allowed to ask how many questions you want to. But as soon as you come over here talking to me in a way that I ain't talking to you, goodbye. I don't need you. Um, but yeah. I feel sorry for him but anyways, I'm having a conversation with one of my kids, and they got questions. I'm answering the questions. Um, uh, and so I guess because I'm not giving the answer that she want, my daughter hung up. My daughter hung up on me. But other of my kids do too. But It's like they frustrated because it seems to me like I'm not understanding what they saying. And I understand what you're saying, but I still have to give you truth as your mother or whatever. And I'm not going to give it to you what it is that you want to hear. I'm hearing you out or whatever, and I'm trying to understand the best of my ability. But my job is to give you the truth. I'm not one of your friends out here in the streets or whatever. Am I going to run my daughter down or whatever and call her back and go off on her or whatever for hanging up on me? No. But because she know who I am and that I put in the time and the effort, the benefit that I got back was, let me catch a flight home to see my mom and give her a hug and apologize. So I say, you reap what you sow. If they know that you're there, they don't want to leave it like that. But expectations for your kids to take care of you, no. And I think this is a conversation that we all need to keep on happening. Yeah, you're right, Divine Destiny, that I don't never eject anybody from out of from out of my lives, because I usually don't have a reason to. But as soon as you come over here and think you gonna be disrespectful, no. Goodbye. Me either. They'll need me first. Absolutely. So and I don't ever want to have no arguments and stuff with them. But as a parent, and you've seen further along the line than they could ever see, they'll never catch up with the wisdom that you have and the reason you telling them. So I try and give them stories about things that I've done in my life, to show them there is no judgment as to what it is that you're coming to tell me. But I'm going to give you a story from myself, so then that you understand that this is the reason why I'm giving it to you this way. Because see, when I tried it this way right here, this is what happened. And I'm, as your mother, don't want to see you run that same course. I want to see you do something different. All right, Growing with Us, and thank you for coming through though. We absolutely are. We are all a work in progress. So we growing, so, but whatever it is that you put in, you will get it, you will get it back, and not necessarily from the person that you're looking for it to come back from, but you reap what you sown. Girl, I would have to morph through that phone like Medea. Oh my gosh, not through the phone. I know I seen one time that made me think about this movie I had seen on Tubi one time. Tubi be having them them good old ghetto movies on there sometimes. But I was watching this movie on there, and honey, they was smoking the trees, and they had a whole system going where they were smoking the trees through the telephone. I was like, what in the world? So when you said that, that made me think about that I seen on Tubi that one time. I don't even know the name of the movie or whatever, but that junk was crazy. I was like, oh God, they turning this thing turning real fast. My kids and I can respectfully disagree, but definitely no disrespect. Yeah. And listen, I don't believe in that. I don't believe in everybody, because how you gonna have a conversation with somebody that agree with everything that you saying? I don't need nobody. I don't need a whole bunch of people to agree with me when you think I'm right, and when you don't agree with me, tell me what you disagree with, and let's have a conversation from there. Because you know what? Even just because a person disagree with you on what you're saying, it don't necessarily mean that they disagreeing with what you're saying. Yes, that's what I just said. Just because they disagree with what you're saying, don't mean they disagree with what you are saying. Because we got our own thoughts inside our head about what we thinking about, and this person over here got their own thoughts in their head about what they thinking about, and it don't necessarily mean because y'all saying the same thing that you on the same page. Two things can be right and wrong at the same time, if we looking at it in that way. But um sometimes, like my husband can be explaining something to me. He explaining it to me with his words, but I can't see actually what his vision is. And sometimes I think I understand it in one way, and then when I actually see him put it into action, it's actually different from what I was thinking in my head. It looks different from what I was thinking in my head. So even though I had a little bit of understanding of where like he was going with it, I really didn't understand or see what his vision was. So that's what I mean when I say that. If I explain that in the right way, if I made sense with what I'm saying. Just because a person explaining to you what their vision is don't actually mean that you understand their whole entire vision. But again, we done had this conversation for an hour, and so many other conversations came out of it, and we might venture back down this line again, because I definitely ain't getting out what I was saying, and I have to try to like focus, especially when I'm dealing in the chat or whatever, because I'll be on 500 other conversations or whatever dealing in the chat, but I have to keep on looking over here in some of the things that I wrote down. But definitely I don't think that parents should have an expectation that their kid that makes it big is going to take care of them. What would you do if you're the one that said something they felt was disrespectful, but it was the truth and they hang up on you? Who should you call? Who back, or should we just let it go? Should we let it fester? Okay, let me read this again, because this sound like it's gonna be a whole nother good conversation. And honey, I love a good old question like this right here. What would you do if you're the one that said something they felt was disrespectful? If they felt that it was disrespectful, and you're going back in your mind thinking about it, one of the first things that I would ask them is, what do they think was disrespectful about that? Explain it to me. You have to have a conversation with them, because see, who I'm talking about right now is, I'm not talking about my kids that's under the age of 18. I'm talking about the kids that's out of the house. They call you and they having conversations with you from afar. So let's just get that clear, because there's a different set of rules for the ones that's still in your house and the ones that's not living in your house. So okay, if they think that what you said to them was disrespectful, but it was the truth and they hang up on you. If they think that what you said to them was disrespectful, because I'm not, in my conversation, my stuff wasn't disrespectful. But if they feel like it was disrespectful, ask them what was disrespectful about the conversation, and then have the conversation from there. Who should call who back? If they said that they were disrespectful, if it's a misunderstanding on who was disrespectful or whatever, but if you know in your heart as the parent that you did the right thing, that you said the right things, and there is nothing, because see, I go back and go over the conversations, what I said on the phone, what was the conversation, and do I need to go more in depth with who I was just talking to on the phone when I was talking to them. Once you go over your conversation and you can't find fault in anything you said, you just sit on it and you allow them to come back to you, because the same way you sitting there and thinking about the conversation you just had, hopefully that same person is doing it. And then if you can't get if you know you searched yourself and thought about everything that you said in that conversation, and you find peace after you searched yourself, you can't find anything that you did wrong, sit on it and just wait, and they'll be the person that come. Or should we just let it fester, and sometimes I've also learned too, sometimes I can sit on some things and kind of let it fester. But I also have friends that I can call and talk to and ask them questions about what I'm feeling about it and be straightforward with them. And that friend can say, but then there's a point where you're the parent. You have to understand that you are the parent. It's time for you to make a phone call, and it's time for you to reach out and be the one to do that said thing. But especially when we having a conversation like we're having right now, um, and you haven't done those things, then find it in yourself to be able to be at peace with how they did it. Okay, yeah, well, they out of the house and everything. And sometimes um when they once they get out of the house, they just don't, some things that they don't, they view your opinion as good because that's the reason they come to you about the questions that they have. But sometimes they don't want the answer that you're giving to them, especially when it's talking about somebody else. They just want you to be on their side. You still have to be tell the truth and nothing but the whole truth to them. you know Sometimes it's not you they have the problem with, it's the truth that they find hard accepting. Absolutely. And all kids go through that at some point, especially when it's something that they really, really want to do. And it's like, you coming in between what it is that I really, really want to do. So, you just have to, you have to search your own self. And when you know that you've done what is right, and if you handle it in the way that you would want somebody to handle you in, if you don't have no problem with that right there, then yep, he wanted me to lie on. And listen, that's this same thing. What you talking about is the same thing that my daughter hung up on me. I understood what you were saying, even though you didn't get the type right. But I understood what you were saying, Black Butterfly. Um, that's the same reason that I got hung up on, is because she wanted me to be on her side, and I'm on the side of truth. I'm not on anybody's side. Like, if I seen it and heard it with my own eyes, then you have to get the truth that I give to you. Don't mean you have to like nor love the information that I gave to you, but it's all that I got for you. That's all I can give to you. And sometimes you have to just sit there and let it resonate with them, and they'll get it. He wanted me to be on his side. I just told the truth. That's right. Sometimes, our kids do want us to just be on their side. It's the same situation what I was explaining to my daughter, but in this situation, the way she was explaining it, it's like the more that I tried to still give her the same thing, um, she got frustrated with me because I just couldn't see it her way, no matter what it was that she was explaining to me. I just have to give you what I know to be the truth, no matter what. My best advice for anyone with children: please do not spoil your kids and discipline them constructively, or you will reap a child from hell. If those the kind of seeds that you plant, those are. And now I ain't saying that every now and then a kid don't need to be hit on their behind, that type stuff right there. But um, when it's over over the rainbow and all of that kind of stuff, you get you get an angry kid. So be careful. what you plant. And you know what? She butterfly. I'll say because I see you said thanks for the advice, and what I would just say to that, the only thing that I'm doing I can talk to you from is I've had the experience of raising 14 children. Um and so I can go down the line of the experience that I had with each and every one of those 14 kids. And honey, when I tell you, none of them ain't alike. So it ain't like none of them was twins or anything. So um I would say I'm giving you my experience. That's what I say. That's the only thing that I can speak from the experience that I have had. But when you searched all over that place and you can't find fault in nothing, because I constantly do that on the regular. I search my own self and what do I need to make right? What do I need to do right by um on the regular? Because I love peace. So um as long as you've done those things, accept your peace and move right along. It'll come full circle. And if you feel led to be the one to make the phone call first, and maybe the first phone call could be, let me call them and ask them, um well, what do you mean if you feel disrespectful? That could be the next part of the conversation. But um you know um there, that absolutely divine destiny, there's a huge difference between the two of them. Yes, there is discipline and there is that other word. Yeah, you absolutely right. And the problem comes in is when uh, parents intertwine the two together and thinking they both mean the same thing. If y'all hear anything, our dog is running like crazy in the background. You have to protect your peace. Absolutely. Protect your peace, because there's nobody else that can do it, that can and will do it for you. Protect your peace. Uh, okay, Black Butterfly, that let me tell you something. Peace is absolutely amazing. And I think I'm gonna walk y'all back here where I find my peace at, where we gonna walk through the garden, because that's usually what we do on Sunday. And then I'm gonna get ready to get off of here and show y'all the growth that we having. So that's where I'm going to start to end it at, is we finna get ready to go and do a walkthrough and see what we see in the garden for today. And then we gonna ultimately end up at the water sprinklers. uh Going through the water park. Okay, so let me situate a couple of things and then we'll be on our way to the garden, and then we gonna end from there. Let me make sure I don't tear up nothing. Okay, let me put my stuff back together while we go on our little field trip around the yard. Make sure I got everything. I guess I left them in the door. What Yeah, y'all, today I got an interview at 3:30 over at TMB, the Monkey Man. So, you want to know a little bit more about your girl, Shauna. y'all come through over um and show some support. Well, thank you, Miss Tashana, Angela. Lord, no. uh, as always, this topic be right on point. Yeah, we need to have that conversation more often, and those kind of conversations more often in the black community for sure. And I hope nobody don't think it be anything funny when I'm saying in the black community. It's not just the black community. The black community is what I know about. Y'all see my daughter seeds I showed y'all before last weekend, how she got these, how much bigger the pods done got. Man, they so big. Let me clean off my camera. Then let me show y'all behind me what the mango tree, well, what that mango tree looking like right there. Let me turn the right way there. And then let me show y'all the other mango tree and what it looked like. Y'all see that? See all those blooms on there? All those blooms on that mango tree. Absolutely crazy. Uh, that's why I love this, because it's real life with no fluff, just real. That's all we got over here is real life. Sometimes it's up and sometimes it's down. There's another, see our little old bitty tiny mango tree with all those blooms on it like that. You gotta brace yourself for that one. Look how my lemon tree all fluffing out. Y'all, I'll be glad when y'all be able to see all the lemons that's growing on there, because it's a lot of them growing on there. And right now I'm working on my little bitty trees that's out here in the yard, like my little tiny mango tree, my pomegranate tree. I think you can see it. Am I showing it? Or I'm just think that I'm doing, let me see. Let me turn the camera this way. Now I can see what I'm showing y'all. My pomegranate tree. I actually got like 4 of them. There's another one over there up under that table right there. But that's that's one. Wow, you got a whole garden of Eden. Yeah, I try real. I can relate, bless. Thank you. Oh, let me show y'all the banana tree. Okay, you still has. Let me see. You see, it still got those bananas on there. What my husband do is he cut a bunch off of them, probably like twice a week, but he let them stay on the tree until they ready. But look at that other bloom right there that done came down, so it's getting ready to create more bananas on that one, and I'm gonna show it to y'all as we go along so y'all can see the whole process of how the bananas come down out of, they already be, if you look up under there you can see the bananas done came out of the, that's some of the bananas that still got the peel around them. Look up in there. I don't know if it's enough light so you can see the little fingers that's going on the inside of them. The bananas start up underneath those things right there. um Then, oh well, I showed y'all there's another bunch of bananas that's growing there, and then that's the other shoot that's getting ready to put out some more bananas right there. Um, yeah, hey Miss Coffee, you out of church now? Um, how do you plant bananas? Well, let me show you. Chana, look, you see this right here? That's a banana. That's a banana tree, a new one. So as these right here are growing, they put out little pups or whatever. And if you can find somebody who have like these pups or whatever, like this right here, um that's all you need, and you'll just keep creating more banana trees. You see, I probably got this is two more plants right here, this area right here, because as the old ones die out, they make new babies, and my husband usually dig them up. So it's probably yeah, that's a new one right there. Um, you find you one good banana tree or whatever. Maybe when I get a whole bunch of them, then I'll start gifting them like to people. Um, you know, at certain times or whatever. Here's a mango tree that my my grandkids them planted while they were here and everything, eating the mangoes last summer. But this is my star fruit tree. It's so tiny and little right now, but we moving up in the world in these days. Okay, so y'all could see the bananas. Um, do you ever get snakes out there? That's the only thing holding me back. Well, don't let the snake hold you back. 'Cause that's the devil right there. Don't never let the devil hold you back. Uh, all you gotta do is on the day you walk out there and you see a snake, run, girl. Go back on the inside. Go back on the inside, and then when he done did whatever it was he was gonna do, then you come back out there or invest in you a good old BB gun. I don't know if I can get flagged for that one, but right, honey, yeah. On those days, that's why I told you we over here we call ourselves high class gardeners. So there's things we don't mess with is no snakes, no bugs, no worms, no none of that stuff right there. When I have them kind of problems, that's when I go and get go and get my husband. But okay, these are our potatoes that we planted that they screaming for water today. But these are our potatoes that I planted along with y'all. I planted some in the pots and I planted some in the ground. Those are all ones that I did with seed potatoes that I bought for the first time from the store. The planted seed potatoes is the first time that I got those. But I usually don't buy seed potatoes. I just use regular potatoes from the store. And this is the example of what my potatoes that I bought from out of the grocery store look like. And they are the ones that's up there is about I think almost a month older than these ones right here. So you see the difference in they grow the same. So okay, now we gonna go over here to the strawberry patch and show y'all what's happening at the strawberry patch. hmm Do you ever sell at the farmer's market? No, I've never sold anything at the farmer's market. Right now, this morning, me and my husband was having a conversation about our strawberries because since I moved them over here in this little corner right here, something been eating our strawberries every day. See, usually we come out here every single morning and the kids get to get strawberries off of the plants. But every time we come out here now, something be done ate some of the strawberries are eating on them. So we was discussing this morning. You see the strawberries on there. I mean, there's tons of strawberries on those plants. You see all the little strawberries that's coming out and everything. So more strawberry plants with strawberries on them. You see one down in the grass ground right there. Something that ate on them. My husband and I was just talking about we need to move them. Here go my tomato plants that done grew for God knows how long and still putting out blooms on them and everything. They showing no signs of dying out no time soon, but they been I done had them now for more than a year. Okay, here our pineapple, one of our pineapple beds, and you see I showed y'all last week those pineapples even on my community wall. But you see Let me walk around this way. I don't be wanting to walk into no spider webs and all of that kind of stuff to show y'all this stuff, but they have, I know y'all probably can see over in there better than I can, but look over in there, you can see there's more pineapples growing. The other day I was out here, I counted maybe, I got up to 4 or 5 of them, but there's another one. There's another. But yeah, the pineapples are not. Y'all always see the collard greens. I just picked them the other day. And the other day I was out here picking the collard greens, and I recorded a video, and I moved that back collard green leaf back there, and there was a little old bitty tiny baby turtle that was sitting back there up under one of the leaves, and I thought he was alive, and he was not here in our yard. So, but I was gonna show him to y'all because my husband had kept the little turtle, but he looked like nothing was wrong with him. He looked perfect fine, and for whatever reason, um, the little guy didn't make it. And I was like, oh my goodness, he's so little and cute. But I don't care how little and cute he was. I was not finna um not the turtles that y'all seen at the park, but I'm talking about this was another turtle that was here in our thing. Now here, look at this lizard come running as soon as I want to come over here. But anyways, these are the potatoes that I planted in my. This is my garden bed that's waist high that I be telling y'all about. You know, when you got back problems, make you a garden bed and build it up so it go waist high. And y'all see my onions about to go to they about to seed. I'm gonna get my seeds right on back and plant me some more. Yeah. Then that's what my purple sugar cane, the baby's looking like right there. And I got all kinds of beans growing up there. Don't ask me what kind it is. You see they coming out right there. I don't know if you can see them on the thing, but um nice. How do you plant strawberries? Do you buy seeds or get them from the I plant the seeds that you get right from out of the I created those plants over there with strawberries that I got from out of Publix grocery store here in Florida. Um, you see that right there? Look on my lettuce. Let me show you that thing right there. You see that? I don't know what he doing. Is he eating the lettuce or what? But y'all see my baby lettuces all popping. Don't mind the my spinach because they ain't doing what I want them to do or something to keep eating them. So they making me mad. So I ain't worrying about them. I'm more focused on my lettuce that I'm growing right now. Anytime I hear a recall on something that I can grow my own self, I start growing it majorly. But my husband them like salad a whole lot. So okay, we headed back to the um to the big garden back in the back. Oh, time the chicken's on the other side. That's why I don't never. Okay, let's see what we got going today. So I showed y'all last week. Well, I see our broccolis are standing up a whole lot taller today than they was yesterday. And one of the reasons they expert. So this here is my cabbages. The cabbages is where you see the dips in the party is. They not that big yet, so you can't hardly see them. But these are black eyed peas right here. Yep, and here they got a recall on lettuce. So Anytime I hear anything about a recall on anything, they don't got to worry about me getting none of that. I just tell them, well, we on restriction from lettuce at the store. And I was like, we on restriction for lettuce at the store. I say, yep, you heard what I said. If we ain't producing it out there, then we ain't eating it. So now that I'm the one gotta go to the grocery store. But these is our black eyed peas. Hopefully I was showing them to you. But yeah, no, I ain't doing that. So, and he say, my husband say, well, what kind of lettuce is it? They got the recall on it. It don't matter. I ain't got time to be trying to figure out which one got a recall on it. One got a recall on it, all of it got a recall on it. That's how I feel like. Um, No way. They ain't applying to me because I ain't even worried about them. Y'all can keep your little lettuce and everything, and we'll eat lettuce when we get back to it. Now look at our sunflowers. Already, just the other day when I showed them to y'all, they didn't look like this right here. But they ain't had no water on them this morning. So I told y'all, when you put water on stuff like this right here, it can stretch right before your eyes. These are a different kind of sunflowers over here on this side. So what kind of sunflowers? Then I can't tell y'all. One of them is a black sunflower seed, like the ones what we eat from our store. Then they got another kind of sunflower seeds that's like the big gigantic white sunflower seeds. Those they two different kind. One of them called a mammoth, and the other one I don't know what that one called. So, and I don't be labeling my stuff like that. I just know what I be growing. That's all I know. And here is our squash and zucchini that we planted together. Um, it ain't had no water on it this morning. We fertilized it yesterday, and today when it get water, tomorrow it gonna be looking like new money all over again. Now we have okra growing in this section right here. Um, and you can't really see them that good, but after a while you'll be able to. They all up and down there. Then this one is a row that I planted. They starting to come up um, of okra. So uh, there's a couple of more okra plants there. Then here we have yeah, and with those strawberries, I did a video explaining how to do the strawberries. The sad part is I can't even tell you how to go back to the video. So doing the strawberries, you just take and you peel the strawberry and stick the side down that you peeled away from the strawberry, stick it down to a paper napkin and let it dry on the paper napkin. And after you do that part right there, then um call me back and ask me what's the next part to do with the strawberry thing after you done dried it on the paper towel. But yeah, those are my tomato plants. Everybody that was out here with me know these was the itty bitty babies when I planted them out here, and already they showing up to be bigums. So here are our cucumber plants over here. And we got more tomatoes. And everybody know tomatoes and okra are the biggest things that we grow in our garden because it's what our kids like to come home and eat every day from school. and they don't never get tired of it. They actually excited about coming back here to the garden and picking their own green tomatoes and all of that stuff. Some citrus trees, we don't know what kind they're gonna be yet, because I always tell y'all, if you plant a tree, a seed from out of a lemon, grapefruit, orange, or any of that, you don't know which one of them you gonna get. You can get any one of those citrus things whenever you plant a citrus seed. The only way you gonna get what you was eating is by air layering. There's my soursop tree, and then I forgot what the name of this one is, and it ain't labeled. So whenever it puts some fruit out on it, then I'll let y'all know then. Then we planted loofah here. Y'all seen me till this up on yesterday. I planted loofah in the middle, and as they begin to come up, I will put mulch closer in around them. And on this hill right here, we planted watermelon too on yesterday. So that ain't all of our garden tour, but that's what part of the garden tour that I'm gonna show y'all on today of what's happening here over at Shauna's farm. Now I'm gonna crank this sprinkler up and go and prepare myself for this interview I have with TMB Monkey Man at 3:30 this evening. And I'll probably see you all tomorrow morning. Probably. I ain't gonna make no promises, which I never try to do. But let's see. Sit that there. And hopefully we gonna get a good watering in. I watered the other half last night, so I only have one side that I need to water this morning, because I told y'all it ain't a good idea to wet your zucchini, your squash, and your cucumbers, the leaves on them at nighttime. You need to water them in during the time of the day that they have time to dry out in the sun, where they have time to dry out in the sun, so it don't create that mildew, the mold or mildew on the plants. So that gives it the best chance of not growing that on it when you water them while the sun is out. Oh, I gotta run from the water sprinkler. Oh, y'all know this like one of my favorite sounds of the day is hearing the water sprinkling. That's awesome. You're going to have a great season, Queen. I thank you. I received it. God bless you, Queen. Thank you, as always, for real conversation and a beautiful garden tour, as always. So inspired. Thank you very, very much, Divine Destiny. Thank you for always chilling over here with us. But you all, this has been Life with Tashana for today. And remember, go over and check out Peach McIntyre's video, her short, um, Why Do Black People Have to? Check it out and create your own, come through and tell your own opinion about that same situation and create a conversation to be had. There's a lot of content that can be made out of that, just that one little conversation. And if not that, make up your own stuff. Ain't nothing wrong with it. But as always, grow something. Let it represent you growing also in life. But just continue to grow.
out in the garden because it's good for you and your family, um, and good for your soul. Just grow. Thanks for being over here with us as the high class gardener. That just means we make sure we continuously grow something. Um, but the high class part just qualifies as us to not playing around with snakes, worms, and bugs, and not spraying all of those crazy pesticides on our food. But do your thing the way you do it. Just make sure you're growing in the garden and in real life. Y'all have a good day.